Playing some EDC every day is like eating a lot. Hello everyone, I'm Brother Shi is here to do the folding stick show again. Folding sticks are also a particularly popular category in 2025. I would like to call this 2025. It is the first year of folding crowbars. Today's horizontal comment. We still carry out the opening and closing experience from 4 aspects of gameplay diversity. Workmanship, performance, cost-effective. We want to say less. Start the scoring of the first link. Is the open core experience. This is the BK3A of Risa, which was just released not long ago. Although it only has this quick-on mode. But its opening and closing feel is really very good. Just like we eat that lollipop in the winter. Crunch. Every time you open and close, you get a very, very strong positive feedback. So this warping stick can give its opening and closing experience. It is no problem to score a 9. Let's take a look at this 5 open stick. I have to say it. This PI material is really an answer to 5 openings. Why do you say that? I also said before, the problem with this 5-5 open cake is that the cake is too heavy and too tough. But when you switch to PI cakes, its counterweight suddenly becomes reasonable. So much so that the opening and closing experience of this toy. Because of this PI's cake, I went up a step. Although his feedback, because of the axon, is still relatively weak. But the feel of his grip and the opening and closing. The sense of experience has been qualitatively improved. So overall, I can give it an 8-point rating for this warp stick. Then there is this recently newly launched immeasurable stick. I had very, very high expectations for it before I got it. It is a multi-fast opening mode. Then there is a titanium alloy screen lock. There are also steel locks, but the greater the hope, the bigger the disappointment. The opening and closing experience this crowbar gives you is really bad. He didn't have any feedback. I don't care how much effort I take. Even if I lose the smell, I will throw it off. You won't get a normal feedback order. Soft, without strength. I even think he's not as good as this feedback wall that doesn't have this axle lock. I also tried it and found the reason for him. I found 2. I think the unboxing experience is particularly good. The small fold of the propylene lock. 1 is this arowana of Mozanari. You can see the cake of the arowana is much thinner than it. Then this elastic zone of the arowana is much longer than it. I don't know if it's the reason. Let's just explore. Then let's look at the gold 10,000 tails, which is also a very good feel ice lock. Open it quickly, and the whole bread is longer than it. And the thickness of the cake is also a thinner buffer than it. It is also the spring area that is longer than it. So I don't know if it's because it's too thick and the spring area is too short. As a result, his opening and closing feedback is extremely weak. So this can really only give him a 6. Finally, it is also the 2nd generation of this fragrance that we introduced before. This bridge rod has a unique advantage among the 4 bridge sticks. It is a lining lock, and the feedback sense of this lining lock is inherently strong. So its opening and closing experience feedback is very good. But although this toy has strong feedback, but its smoothness is not particularly good. So I think it can only get an 8.5 points on the opening and closing experience. This is the final score of these 4 knocking sticks in the opening and closing experience. The second link score is that the first thing to look at in this gameplay is BK3. As I just said, its gameplay is relatively simple, only this one push disc. But Resa has always been composed of this variety of accessories, includes screw pusher heads for spindles. Because I have seen a lot of modification cases. It can be seen that it has all kinds of splitting mouths. Not only can it open the screen, can also twist all kinds of things. This kind of splitting, it's also a small plus in practicality. So you can get an 8 points based on this. Let's not say more. 5 opening and closing modes. It has 5 opening and closing modes, all of which feel good. And it can be opened in various ways, including those who govern the way, including you. Basically, you can think of it, he can open it smoothly. Then he launched this back clip again this year. Maybe he will launch some others in the future. I don't think the playability I gave him last year was that high. This year, we will count this variety of opening methods into this scoring range. Second, he did produce a lot of accessories. I think he can give him an 8.5 points. Then say that this infinite 3.5 opening and closing front and rear push torsion. There is also this cutout hole in front of which can be used as a kind of thumb quick opening. The index finger is open quickly, and then its rear is a smooth degree is no problem. Open at 1 point. Then if you use that kind of violent post-opening method, it's no problem. I can also do some simple opening and closing with this flattener. I think it's reasonable overall. Then the fear of its back clip is a standard of Steelfire. Fear. It can also provide you with a replacement for such a space gameplay performance. I think you can get an 8 points for Yen Yen. The second generation of the prototype machine, this crowbar, its opening and closing methods are two half, a pusher knife button on the front, a pusher knife hole. This derivation hole is not that useful, but it can also be used. Even if it is 2.5 kinds, the place where the balls are inlaid can be put on the back clip. It is also a standard hole saw, and its open performance. The front push button can basically complete all actions without any problems. All things considered, this gives me a 9. Okay. This is how these 4 crowbars perform in this gameplay. One ended up scoring well and we continued. The third rating is a rating of workmanship. Let's take a look at Ressa first. What about Rissa? First of all, I would say that its workmanship is as good as ever. Inheriting this style of Ressa is very exquisite. It is an M390 crowbar head with the treatment of the Las Vegas DLC. Including it, this cake has made this kind of tile-ribbed vicissitudes of washing, including the engraving of its logo, and the rigor of the screws. I don't think there is anything to fault with this workmanship. This can get 9.5 points, and then this one is mistakenly opened. In terms of PI in my hands, overall, because it is also a relatively mature product, there is no big problem. But if you want to pick some details, there are still some things that can be improved, including screws like these, including a gasket like this, including this push button. I think there is still some room for optimization. Of course, he first considers the overall coordination. The second is to consider the cost reason. It is also understandable to do it like this, so I can give him an 8th point for this crowbar. The materials used in this Woolyong are very solid, and they are also very thick in the hand. Including the hidden loose rope hole it makes, I really like it. But I don't know if this knocking stick is a manager. It's still good to do it on purpose. This line and this line should theoretically be a straight line. But it comes up with a sorry situation. It's not a visual difference. If you look at it from this position, it is still amazing. I don't know much about this, it's the manager. It is done on purpose or it is a matter of some tolerances. This is obsessive-compulsive disorder. It seems to be a very difficult problem. The overall wing stick is quite designed. Including what he said about whales, this is wordless. I think there are some design elements in it. So overall, I think I can give him an 8.5 points. Finally, this fragrance is the second generation, this crowbar. Its workmanship is indeed relatively average, the problem of the knife head. I also said in the video before that this is definitely not the M390, because I still have many friends in the group. There is a problem of rust. This M390 should not rust so easily. And I'm in the north, and my knife basically won't rust the second one. It's a matter of materials, first of all. Second, the other is that his overall cutting workmanship is not very good. It's just a decent level. I think I can get a 7.5 rating. Okay. This is the final score of these 4 sticks at the workmanship level. The last item is our cost-effectiveness rating. Let's take a look at Ressa first. The new price of Ressa is about 1300. According to Russa's previous style, EKKR can sell more than 800. I think it is reasonable to sell this for 800 yuan. But selling it for 1300 is still a bit expensive. So on the whole, I think I can only get a 7.5 points, and then I mistakenly turned on this effect. We can only say that the current market price is about 1000 yuan. It's still a bit expensive. Let's be honest. The original price of this stick is actually about 700 yuan. I think it's reasonable. I think I can only get an 8. Then there is this immeasurable stick. The price of this stick is now basically the same as its launch price, about 1100. If you look at the solidity of the material, it is a value. This money, but combining its unboxing experience. Let's play and experience. I don't think this stick is worth so much money. So I think I can only give him a 7.5 points. Then there is this fragrance, this stick. Now it has dropped to about 800 yuan. Or a price that can be done. I think its reasonable price should be around 600 yuan. But 800 is already very good. So I think overall, this can give a score of 9.5. This is the final score of these 4 Chowin in terms of cost performance. Finally, I will use one sentence to summarize each question. Rissa's tweed is of high quality and fineness. The experience of playing with it is good, and it is very suitable for the size of the EDC shoelaces. The second one is Wukai. Wukai is still the same sentence. It's more like a toy, it's not like a small fold. Its tool attributes may be worse, not bright this one. If you like this solid feel, and you don't have too high requirements for the unboxing experience, I really want to buy a crowbar with stronger tool attributes. I think you can enter this. Finally, I think this one is fragrance. It is more suitable for you to carry the small fold with you, But you are afraid of people with compliance issues. This is really a completely small folding opening and closing experience. Okay, that's all for today. Playing EDC every day is like eating a little bit. Hello everyone, I'm Brother Shi. What else do you want to see? You can leave me a message in the comment area. See you in the next issue.